Okay, so the time has come again for me to give something back to devs as a thanks for giving me the chance to play the game before the release. Before I delve into things, I must say that I already expressed some of my opinions on the game in a previous video, so if you want you can check it out. So anyways, let's start with the butcident. My stance on this is quite simple. It's devs' vision that must be respected, and if they wish to change something, they should be free to do it. But caving in on some morons saying that things should be removed because they are offensive or not suiting is just idiotic and never yields a good result. It often spoils the creative spark that someone had, and this is what I'm against. So devs, keep your integrity and don't give in. Instead of removing something, maybe give alternatives or something. Next, let's discuss hero balance and some little improvements that I would personally like to see. First off, Widowmaker's scoped crosshair. I know this is a small thing, but I hate the white color. I don't know why, but it seems that I'm missing quite a bit more than with black crosshairs. So it'd be nice to have the option to change the color. And yeah, I do know that crosshair options are coming, but I'm not quite sure if this one is. So I might as well suggest it, right? Moving on to Mercy, this I have discussed before, but she simply lacks healing power. By this I mean, look at Lucio, he can heal up to 10,000 damage in one match with ease. Yet Mercy struggles to even come close to it. The reason I want her healing speed to be increased is the sooner you finish healing someone, the sooner you can boost their damage, and this way it would compensate for you not dealing damage, if you were to pick some other hero. And finally I have a little suggestion for Junkrat. Since you can do some awesome double jumping with him, how about giving this hero a way to charge another concussion mine, or at least reduce its cooldown for the next one, so we can use this feature more often. Still, this is just something to be considered. I just like jumping around, I guess. Speaking of jumping around and stuff, I'm still disappointed in some of the maps, in Hollywood especially. See, when I play Pharah or Junkrat, I consistently hit invisible walls or the ceiling. Now this really makes me feel cramped up in a close quarters shooting gallery, which is very bad for my playing experience. When I take Pharah, I try to get on the highest point and then launch myself in the air, trying to gain as much airtime as possible. But these ceilings just limit me so much, I just can't stand it. Yeah, I get it that getting too high might be a problem, but as is, current ceiling in most maps are way too low. Also, some invisible walls restrict your movement a lot. And I don't have to remind you, level designers, that invisible walls are synonym for being lazy. While we're on the topic of maps and their design, I have to say I love Route 66. Well, it does have its ceiling problem, it definitely is not as apparent as in Hollywood or Kings Row. Map itself is very open, which is very good, and then it also has some good obstacles and different routes, allowing players to flank or move more freely, which again is fantastic. And best of all, map feels big. To me it seems that it's the longest of all, and that is what I like to see. I've said this before, but I would love to see maps that are very long, as well as longer match times in general. Sure, some say that Overwatch is designed for smaller scale, but I truly think that game could benefit from games that last 30 minutes max. I hate it when we have to play for 10 minutes and then we switch maps or sides and then we have to start everything all over again. I like to be immersed in the game, and other shooters have proven that best matches tend to last longer. So yeah, that's my take on maps. Now moving on the nitpicking story for Overwatch, first on the block is the recent Alive cinematic short. I thought it was just fantastic that it focused on Widowmaker, not Tracer. But that said, I have bone to pick with Widow's story. So let's quickly read what is her backstory on Overwatch homepage. Widowmaker is a perfect assassin, patient, ruthless, efficient killer who shows neither emotion nor remorse. This is the very first line in there. So what the hell, guys? Alive short was hammering hard Widowmaker's emotional state, and it simply does not fit. If I didn't know any better, I would say that someone screwed up her story here. But you know, I don't know any better, so what's going on? Another thing that doesn't make sense here is over-villainization for Widow. See, a while ago Soldier 76 came out and devs made a Q&A about this hero, and I did participate in it by asking several questions that got answered. By the way, thanks guys for that. I asked if there was a clear bad guy in the story, which would most fit for Reaper or Widow. But the answer I got was no. There are gray areas and all heroes have their own good and bad sides or something. If that's true, then Widowmaker should have not been portrayed as a supervillain. If she's this emotionless being, then what are these expressions telling me about her? And also, those of you saying that she's faking them, then really, what's the point of it, really? She's assassin, so just go and kill someone, that's it. Again, rethink the story, fellas, because at this point it simply does not make much sense. Which is also a case for D.Va, but that one I will leave for another time. As a final part, I wanted to talk a little bit about training grounds. So I know it's still in very heavy work in progress state, but better start giving suggestions early, right? So first thing I would like to see in there are all heroes as bots. This is needed for players who want to test different weapons and abilities for themselves. Then it would also be nice to have all the shields available to practice on. A Masochist room would also be nice to have, where you can go and test how much damage you can receive, absorb or reflect. And finally, some obstacle course for different heroes like Genji, Tracer, Lucio and so on. Something like a climbing course or mind the gap thing. I guess with the topic about training grounds, we also have to deal with the topic about abysmal AI. I'm sorry, but the current state of AI is just terrible and simply needs to be improved ASAP, as release date is not too far away. So there you go, my 1000 game feedback, hope it helps. Also feel free to discuss anything I touched on.